God protects what he joins together. As long as they love and respect each other, which is part of his plan, it is recommended for us as his people to be obedient, which keeps us aligned in his will. Sarah and Abraham is my prime example. Now, a couple of months ago, I recently spoke about them too. Just in a small discussion on two of my videos, COVID-19 and God, and there was another one called Singleness and Awareness. I only explained briefly about these two couples, but here I'm going to give a deeper illustration of those two. The land that Abraham and Sarah and his family were currently living in happened to undergo a major famine, and they had to move further south to the land of Egypt. Before they got to Egypt, Abraham must have received a prophetic message and said to his wife Sarah, which is actually his half sister. They're related through their father, not by their mother. But he told her to tell the officials that you are my sister, because his life was on the line. I know thankfully that Sarah listened to Abraham, because if she didn't, Abraham would have been dead. But she honored her husband's wish, which was granted, and they prospered greatly. God blessed them through the Pharaoh of Egypt. But something else happened too. Now Pharaoh was highly upset, but this story is similar to the Israelites, in which God foretold to Abraham about his descendants, that they will be enslaved 400 years in the land that is not their own, which is in Egypt, and that they will be mistreated, but God will punish that nation with plagues, and that they will be released, and that they will receive great wealth. Abraham happened to be in a land that was not his own, so was his descendants. God struck Pharaoh and his household with plagues. He also did the same thing during the days of Exodus. Pharaoh released his wife. Pharaoh also released the children of Israel. Abraham left with great wealth. So did the children of Israel. The same thing happened again when Abraham and his wife had to move to Gerar, the land of Gerar, and the king Abimelech. And Abraham had to tell his wife, hey, tell him that you're my sister, because he constantly, he knew that his life was on the line because she was a very beautiful woman. So, and Abimelech actually took Sarah from him. But he didn't lay his hand on her. God protected her. He had a dream. Abimelech had a dream. And in that dream, God spoke to him. Actually, God threatened him first. God doesn't play with his people. But God threatened him and said, you're a dead man, because the woman that you took belongs to a man. And so they had a conversation back and forth in the dream. But then that morning, he woke up and he told the people everything that happened. And they feared Abraham and Sarah. And he released her. What's so beautiful about that message is that no one laid a hand on Sarah, nor Abraham. God told Abraham, I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse those who curses you. And all the people of the earth will be blessed through you. Coming to my conclusion is that God not only protects his promises, but if his promises is to bless the couples in union and also their seed, their descendants, then he's going to protect the relationship, as you can see with Abraham and Sarah. He sent the plague to warn Pharaoh and even threaten another king, Abimelech. So God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, and he's faithful to keep his promises. And there's many relationships right now that God is protecting, and that he soon will protect, and maybe that he's protecting you because he has a promise over your life and for the sake of your descendants, and also other things that's miraculously can come involved while you are intertwined in a relationship. So there's a lot of things that God can do, but as we see here, God does protect relationships. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, that his plans for you is to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. That was fulfilled in Abraham's life, though he did not live to see his descendants, just his 2 children that he had, and also others that he had with concubines. He had faith in God, and it was added unto him righteousness because he trusted in him. Though in his old age, in his late 90s, having a kid, it's like, what good can be produced out of this old body? But yet, Abraham didn't trust himself. He trusted someone higher than him, who was capable of not breaking promises, which is God himself. Matter of fact, there's a promise already over your life that's being fulfilled because he got your parents together. That's something that we can always treasure. And his promises are already in the scriptures, but there's also other things added to. The scriptures is just the basic foundation, the basic principle, not just of Christianity, but it's like God's diary for mankind. And there's more included in it that he's willing to tell you. Remember, the Spirit will guide you into all truth. So his Spirit will just simply lead you into things that you need to know. And it's just marvelous. It's just marvelous to know that God still protects relationships no matter what. Especially if it's a calling of your life, especially if it's a promise that he made to you. Something that's valuable, it's nice.